I have gone on a 2-year social media detox and the results have honestly been nothing short of life-changing. There are 3 main reasons for this, and the third one is definitely, according to me, the biggest change that has happened in my life since I quit. So I always hated TikTok, but eventually a few years ago I remember giving in and downloading it to see what the fuss was about. And soon I was more hooked than I wanted to admit. So TikTok was never my cup of tea, but eventually I started scrolling on there too. But before that as well, I had for years and years on end wasted way too much time on Instagram and Snapchat, and eventually I just had enough. I got rid of all of it. And what effects has this had on me? Some pretty unexpected ones actually. There is that one effect that I thought I would experience, that everyone thinks they will experience but no one does. I thought if I delete socials, the world will forget me. I'll become irrelevant and disappear from the face of the earth pretty much, to the point that if I would actually be abducted by aliens, no one would notice. This is obviously rooted in insecurities and FOMO. And do you honestly think this would happen? Like hypothetically, let's say it does happen. If your friends just forget about you and you stop getting invited to social occasions just because you deleted social media, good. This means they were friends to begin with. You just got rid of some people that didn't value you at all whatsoever. So even if this irrational fear is true, then it's literally just like emptying your trash can. Those friends were garbage and you threw them away. So this effect was obviously just an irrational fear and not something that actually happened. But something that did happen was actually quite the opposite. I didn't lose anyone by uninstalling these apps. If anything, I gained their respect. I never heard that I was boring for not having socials. People honestly just respected me more for quitting socials because, let's be honest, everyone knows that social media is bad for you. Like, they may have wanted me to use social media sometimes, but they wouldn't have respected me more for it. Point is, you don't disappear from the face of the earth by deleting social media. If anything, you're more likely to gain respect from it. And that is one odd effect that I did not really expect. It's also honestly completely irrelevant, at least compared to the other two, especially this one. But before that, number 2 says peace. Motivation and peace. Overall well-being. I think everyone already knows this, but as boring as it sounds, you just feel better without social media. You just become so much more motivated, more peaceful, you're happier. And it may sound weird that these are effects you get from removing social media, but there's a very simple explanation for it. You have a baseline of dopamine in your body that determines how happy and motivated you are. If it's high, you feel great. When it's low, you feel depressed. When something spikes this baseline and you get a peak in dopamine levels, the baseline actually goes down a little bit afterwards. So when you do many things that spike your dopamine baseline, you get a lower baseline and you just feel more depressed and overall worse. Some things that spike your baseline are video games, fast food, sugary foods, porn, drugs, and of course, social media. Scrolling social media is one of the worst activities for this, because you constantly spike your dopamine levels when you do it, which ultimately makes you more depressed. This, combined with the FOMO you experience when you scroll, has a very strong impact on your well-being. And since I quit social media, I can honestly say it's been a remarkable difference in my mental health, clarity, and overall well-being. The third and final thing, which is also the biggest change in my life since I quit social media, is time. Gen Z, which is people born in between about 1997 and 2012, different sources say different years, we have an average of 7 hours and 7 minutes of phone time every single day. And the majority of this, for most people, is scrolling and texting. And this is just an insane amount of time. Like, these numbers are actually so mind-boggling once you think about it. 1 hour wasted on this garbage every day would be insane, because imagine how much you could do if you had 1 extra hour every day. You could become pretty great at any skill if you just spent 1 hour on it daily for a year, because that's a lot of time. But we don't just waste 1 hour a day on this garbage. We waste more than 7 hours every day. It's so ridiculous to think about. It's literally almost a full-time job. Since I quit social media, I've been able to do so much that I thought never possible. I started MMA, dancing, reading books, journaling, and meditation, and so many other things. And you say, well, those 15 minutes I had on the bus yesterday, I couldn't exactly go work out, so what else was I supposed to do? But that's still not a solid excuse, honestly. Since you first of all just overall harm your well-being by scrolling, which we already established, but you also could definitely bring a book on the bus, or just meditate or freaking sit in silence and just stare out the window. That would literally be so much worth. We can't sit in silence anymore because we're so overstimulated. If you would manage to sit still for 15 minutes today without having anything that stimulates you, that would be a huge improvement for you. Because let's be honest, when was the last time you did that? When was the last time you had to wait for something and you did not bring up your phone? There's a quote by Blaise Pascal that goes, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." If you want help with improving yourself, I would love to help you out for free. Just click the link in the description and we'll do a call together. So I'll talk to you soon. But until then, soldier on and earn your sleep. Because I will.